In this episode of Route 66, the 100-year anniversary, we'll leave Texas and travel through New Mexico and Arizona. While we're there, we're going to see several vintage motels, a unique swimming hole in the New Mexico desert, and stay overnight in the historic El Rancho Hotel in Gallup that has a secret room that we're going to share, and we'll witness miles of scenic roads that make Route 66 a trip you'll never forget. We'll end the series by traveling into California, doing what many did on Route 66 to see family. So let's get started.
Route 66.
Crossing into New Mexico in the Mountain Time Zone, we're just less than an hour away from Tucumcari, New Mexico. Tucumcari is one of the more iconic stops along Route 66. It fills the night sky with neon across 7 miles on Tucumcari Boulevard. Travelers were drawn here from the catchphrases on billboards, Tucumcari Tonight. Our first stop is TP Curios, an odd roadside souvenir shop in the shape of a teepee since the 1940s. Probably the most visited and most photographed stop in this town is the Blue Swallow Motel. I tried booking this a few months in advance. They were full, however, and I was put on a waiting list. Originally called the Blue Swallow Court, opening around 1939, it has beautiful restored rooms, includes a garage unit for your car. Blue Swallow has changed hands over the years, with Robert and Don as the current day owners, with whom we met while there. If you get the opportunity to stay, do it. Most who stay here are traveling a historic route, and it makes for great evening conversation. These signs are peppered along Route 66, only 422 miles until here it is. More on that later in this episode. On the western side of town is the Route 66 Monument. It's a chrome-like sculpture shaped like a classic 1950s car tail fin. Arriving in Santa Rosa, New Mexico, we're going to stop first at the Route 66 Museum. It's free to enter the area where they have a snack bar, ice cream, and only $5 to tour the museum. There's Frisch. There's our Frisch's boy. Hola.
Hello, hola. ¿Hablan español?
Un poco.
Poco, bienvenidos. Welcome. You guys want to go through the
Heading next over to the Blue Hole. This is a local swimming hole and a popular dive destination. Crystal clear waters that maintain a constant temperature of 61 degrees flow in with 3,000 gallons of water per minute, and it cycles the water every 6 hours. It's about 60 feet in diameter and 81 feet deep, more if you count the cave system that expands once at the bottom. Continuing west, we head towards Albuquerque for the night. It's a beautiful approach into the area through these mountains. The next morning, we're up visiting El Vado Motel that was recently restored. A retro motel built in the 1930s located in Old Town in Albuquerque, where the original owners hoped to capitalize on the alignment of Route 66 from 4th Street to Central Avenue where we see it today. There's 22 guest rooms, on-site dining, a saltwater swimming pool, fire pits, games, and weekly live music on Friday nights. On the left in downtown Albuquerque is the 4th hotel built by Conrad Hilton, who founded the Hilton hotel chains, and it's the first one in his home state of New Mexico. Opening in 1939, it was once the tallest building in the state and the first to have commercial air conditioning. Hilton had honeymooned here with actress Zsa Zsa Gabor in 1942. Today it's on the National Register of Historic Places. There are plush sitting rooms and fine dining among the highlights of this 4-star hotel, along with these subtle touches like manually accenting the seating areas by staff. We found the downtown to be very colorful and vibrant, some with deeper meanings. Just west of Albuquerque is the Rio Puerco Bridge that once carried Route 66 traffic. Built in 1933, it was 250 feet in length and one of the longest in New Mexico at that time. As not all of original Route 66 is available to drive. A sign here points us to the way to return to the 2-lane. Turning off, we quickly find it's another portion of the mother road that's no longer passable, and so we'll have to do a 180 and get back on the freeway. Not much further down, I did find another entry point back onto Route 66. The scenery out here keeps changing the further west we drive. Focus your attention to the right to see what is known as Owl Rock. I could actually see it come to life as we turn the corner. And just west of Owl Rock is a section known as Dead Man's Curve. That curve has a full 180 degrees in a few hundred feet. These sharp, dangerous blind turns have taken many of lives. Buddville sits at just over 6,000 feet in elevation, a once thriving 1900s trading post with a mystery. In 1967, then owner Bud Rice and his part-time clerk were killed during a robbery. His wife was found in the back room and survived. The suspected weapon is on display at nearby Grants Museum, and to this day, the double homicide remains unsolved. Built during the heyday of Route 66 were Whiting Brothers fuel station chains. This one was located in a remote stretch and is a great stop for photos. It has this weathered sign on the left and a classic mid-century station on the right. It's pretty well run down, but still a cool photo op nonetheless. The rain seems to have caught up with us again as I cross beneath Interstate 40. This crisscrossing is common, especially when attempting to follow the historic portions of Route 66. These rock formations looked to me like a lava field and felt a bit out of place, but after some research I learned that this is the Zini Bandera, if I spell that correctly, lava field. The flow grows larger and much wider further south of here. Who knew where there were lava fields in New Mexico? Certainly I didn't. Never know what you're going to see traveling these back roads. Rain continues coming in as we enter into Grants, New Mexico. The West Theater seen here has been here since 1959 and still shows movies to this day. One of this week's feature I see is Superwoman. Further into town is a satellite dish art from the early version of the Big Dish, but we'll turn here to grab a photo op underneath the huge Route 66 shield. You'll find several of these along Route 66. Check out that retro RV and color-coordinated tow truck that just passed. We tried out Rosie's Cafe. It was great Mexican food and very affordable. Coming up on the Continental Divide at an elevation of 7,295 feet, where rainfall divides it to this area. The rain goes to the west goes to the Pacific Ocean, and rain that falls to the east flows to the Atlantic. Grabbed a few snacks and we're on our way to head towards Gallup, New Mexico, and spend the evening there at the historic El Rancho Hotel. Built in 1936, just 10 years after Route 66 was named, it served as a base for Hollywood movie stars filming westerns in the nearby area. Rooms are named after legends who slept there like John Wayne, Ronald Reagan, and so forth. Inside is a rustic look, but very much modern hotel for the time period during the movie days. And the gift shop has expanded since my last visit here. Further down inside the first floor is a full restaurant, and in the back area a bar for eating as well. Out back there's even a pool, very private and peaceful here. Upstairs we found a relaxing area to go outside and just people watch. We were offered the Burt Lancaster room with double queens, a refrigerator, and these vintage phones that actually work, and one of the smallest bathrooms I've seen. Back inside, we learned of a secret room on the second floor. To enter, you must choose the correct book on the shelf, tilt it 90 degrees to gain access. We won't share which book, so others can have the fun looking for it as we did. Inside the room was very cool. It actually smelled like popcorn, I think. A guest book and lots of memorabilia. With the night upon us, I went outside for a couple quick videos of the neon. Back on the road the next morning with beautiful skies and no threat of rain. The rock formations continued to impress and looking more like we're in a wide canyon as we head towards the Arizona border. Right at the New Mexico-Arizona border is TP Trading Post. An interesting fact that doing my research that teepees used in the Southwest were only for marketing attractions and weren't actually used by local tribes. Instead, they were known to use adobe and stone dwellings, hogans, or brush shelter. Teepees were used by nomadic tribes of the Great Plains. A few miles after passing into Arizona, we find what remains of Fort Courage. This is a replica built to resemble the actual one from the 1960s television series F Troop. Last time we were here, most of it was intact, but today, only the guard station stands as the new owners begin clearing the lot. If you know what's coming here, leave it in the comments. Petrified Neck Forest National Park was designated as a monument in 1906 and officially became a national park in 1962 that encompassed the Petrified Forest. Petrified Forest is the only national park that Route 66 travels through. We're going to check out some of the landscape and catch a view of where the original Route 66 was here in the park. Entering into the park, I used my America the Beautiful Lifetime Park Pass. It's $80 for seniors 62 and older, free for military, Gold Star families, and U.S. residents with permanent disabilities. Be sure to grab a park map that highlights the many stops and outlooks. The views are amazing even from the comfort of your car. We've arrived here late morning, but sunrise and sunsets will offer the best views for photos and just experiencing the many colors of the Painted Desert. The main visitor center is undergoing renovations until 2028 and is closed, but operations have been moved to the Painted Desert Inn. The inn is built of petrified wood and native stone and completed prior to 1920. Then it was registered with the Land Office in 1924 to comply with the Homesteading Act. They offered overnight stays from 1924 up into 1947. Since then, it serves as a museum, bookstore with restrooms, gift shop, as well as a seasonal ice cream parlor in the basement, in addition to the temporary visitor center duties they have today. Inside is as beautiful as the outside. Here at Pintado Point, we were fortunate to have excellent visibility. Okay, here they got the big picture, so this is really neat to see. The San Francisco Peaks says it's 108 miles away. So if we look out here and we zoom in, we're going to show you that's 108 miles away. Incredible. Up ahead is a viewpoint showing where the original Route 66 carved its way through the national park. Into the distance and beyond the vintage car, you can see abandoned telephone poles marking where Route 66 traveled with Interstate 40 as well into the distance. Here's an aerial view from Google Maps. The area I'm circling is where we stand now. Moving to the southwest, we'll see Route 66 cross over today's Interstate 40 and onto some drivable portions of the earlier historic highway. Continuing on through the national park, we encounter more amazing views on this drive just south of I-40. A quick stop at the South End Visitor Center, then back on the road. Arriving in Holbrook, we'll turn left just past the Rock Shop to pick up Route 66 west. A stop at the Wigwam Motels is a must, having stayed here 2 years ago. Originally, there were 7 Wigwam Motels across the U.S. Today, there only remains 3. One in Cave City, Kentucky, and 2 on Route 66. The one you see here in Holbrook, Arizona, and then the other one in San Bernardino, California. And if these look familiar, it's likely because you saw them in the Disney Pixar movie Cars, where they're known as the Cozy Cone Motel. Less than 30 minutes away is the long-awaited Jack Rabbit Trading Post. Remember those small yellow signs with a rabbit and mile marker? Well, this is mile marker 0. We have arrived. and here it is. Opened in 1949, it's now owned and operated by Tony and Cindy, who bought it in 1995 and has been in Cindy's family since 1961. More importantly, it's still open today. It's a great little gift shop, and after chatting with Tony for a spell, I picked up a couple items for family back home. Moving further west into Winslow, we make a stop at the 9/11 Remembrance Garden that stands along Route 66. 2 steel beams from the World Trade Center, along with the flag flown at the Pentagon, make it the centerpiece of this garden. Moments later, we're standing on the corner in Winslow, Arizona, and that great Eagles song, Take It Easy, plays in my head. And really from about every gift shop around, no doubt. Located along the 1926-1960 alignment of Route 66 in Arizona is the Twin Arrows Trading Post. Today only one arrow remains. The buildings are abandoned and run down, and there's litter everywhere. I vividly remember this place when I stopped here on my way west when I was 18. I only wish I'd taken a few photos. I surely would have cherished those today. Just before arriving into Flagstaff, Arizona, I found an ideal photo op by this road marker that mimics the early design, preserving the look of Route 66. Stop here for a panoramic pic. You won't be disappointed. Located just 1 block off Route 66 in downtown Flagstaff is the Hotel Monte Vista. Built in 1926, the same year Route 66 became official. It is said to be haunted by many who visit, and even John Wayne the Duke reported having an encounter. The downtown Flagstaff area is very walkable, lots of eclectic little shops, cafes, and coffee shops. Heading over to our room for the night, we dropped off our luggage and then walked down the street to the Galaxy Diner. It's a retro restaurant with the 50s theme, great comfort food, and a soda fountain. They claim to be the home of 100 shakes and malts, so I asked for a menu, and they were not kidding. Look at all these flavors. The next morning, we headed back into downtown to the cafe called Fire Creek Coffee Company. The baked goods were slightly warm, my coffee was made special by the owner. It's one of the best I've had. This is my second trip here, and likely won't be my last. Across the street and located on Route 66 is a restored 1926 train station. It is served daily by Amtrak's Southwest Chief and contains this visitor center we see today. The Amtrak waiting room is on the opposite side and opens when serving passengers on the Southwest Chief that operate daily between Chicago and Los Angeles. Outside, a few attractions and a unique book sharing kiosk, and several vintage motels in the distance. Since we have to swap rental cars today with some tire issues at the Flagstaff Airport, we have a bit of time and decided to head up to the nearby San Francisco Peaks. A 15-mile drive from Flagstaff to the Snow Bowl, the local ski slopes, sets at 9,200 feet, where we'll take a scenic gondola ride to the 11,500 top. And here's the highest toilets in Arizona. Now this is something you don't see every day. Jumping back off the freeway, we're getting back on old 66 alignment, taking us to Parks, Arizona, to stop at the old Route 66 Parks store that was established in 1906. It sat idle for a while, but today it's a great gathering place with a full deli, fresh made food, sodas, ice cream, and all the things a small store would have. West of Parks, we come across what appears to be a 1920s or 30s concrete Route 66 roadbed. It's really fun exploring these forgotten roads. In the town of Williams, Arizona, it's alive with traffic and visitors. The Visitor Center here is a great resource for information, and a free museum on one side. Back outside, the streets are alive with Route 66 shops and eateries. 17 miles east of Schlegman begins the longest continuous stretch of Route 66. It's important to note that it's been said that 85% of the original 2,448 miles is still drivable, but in many places it's been paved over or replaced with some segments with freeway. The red marketing Burma Shave signs still dot the landscape on our trip. Our first stop is Angel and Vilma's gift shop. Angel Delgado turned 99 this year and born along Route 66 here in Schlegman. I'm sure he's seen so many changes throughout the years. His work in promoting Route 66 gained him to be known as the Father of the Mother Road and the Guardian Angel of Route 66. The next morning, after staying in Kingman, Arizona, I found this new-to-me park along the route. Arriving at the Kingman's Visitor Center, we were a little bit early, so took a moment to grab a photo of our car rental swap and another Route 66 shield. The Visitor Center is inside of a historic powerhouse built between 1907 and 1911. In 1938, the Hoover Dam caused the plant to become obsolete. It reopened in 1997 as a visitor center. Inside is a gift shop, the Arizona Route 66 and electric car museums, along with the Guardian Angel Route 66 experience. My last trip here, this road was closed. Pretty cool now to drive beneath the new Kingman Route 66 sign. That's a nice addition to the city in the historic section. This next section of drive takes us to Oatman, Arizona, and just over 28 miles. Cool Springs coming up on the right is a mid-1920s gas station, cafe, and more, and it inspired Radiator Springs in the movie Cars. Today it's a gift shop that offers one-of-a-kind Cool Springs memorabilia. Here's a look back from Sitgreaves Pass to the road we just climbed. Oatman is located in the Black Mountains of Mojave County and began as a small mining town in 1915 when two miners struck $10 million in gold. Today it's a nostalgic Route 66 stop with wild burros, descendants from the gold mining days. There always seems to be a checkpoint when coming into and out of Oatman. Lucky for us, we passed with no inspection required. We're now entering this last small town in Arizona before we cross over the Colorado River and California border. As we near the welcome sign to the California sign, we'll exit to rejoin original Route 66 one more time in California. During Route 66 peak, among many things, it was a conduit to see far distant families. As we travel down the final miles of Route 66 for us, it has come to an end. And from here, we'll head south now to see family in San Diego. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.